in a world. What up, though, familia? So it's been a minute. Been a minute. How's it going? Tonight's stream is called "Protect the Children." Um, and I'm gonna kind of break down some plans I have and how I feel about the whole situation. Um, I don't know why the lights go off. Well, yeah, so as of course you know, our children are being attacked, and I thought about switching over to Rockfin. I think I'm just gonna try and figure it out here. I think we'll be all right. Yeah. You can go to rockfin.com/WitsitGetsIt because in the future I'll probably be switching over there for like the second half. Um, yeah, so I've been doing a lot. I know I'm like late on getting the NASA audits newsletter out, but hopefully gonna have that finished and out tomorrow. Hopefully, I have it out tomorrow. I had to go to Florida to film my part in the Next Level documentary. So I've been doing that, and now we're back. And that was very cool. I don't want to say too much about it, but it was very cool. We went to Kennedy Space Center, so we paid NASA a visit. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, Hibbler Productions, Sean Hibbler from Hibbler Productions. Level with Me, the third Level movie, comes out on Earth Day, so that should be cool. Um, and of course, I encourage everyone to either help donate, um, to help fund the movie because I know that it costs money and he still has to fly a few more people out and travel a few more places. And yeah, just support the movie when it comes out. Pay a couple bucks and rent it. All right. So when it comes to the children, they are under attack from all angles. Of course, one of them being they've just upped the number of jabs that children get to, like, 108, I believe, by the time they're 18. 108. And, my little girl is, of course, organic, and she's crushing. She's crushing, and it's super sad. Let me see. It's super sad that some children just aren't, like, given a fair chance, basically. So let me send this picture to myself and I'll show you guys a little picture of her. But so obviously that's one of the things that we have to do. Basically, this is what I've been realizing is that the true nature of the earth is a very important subject, but it's not the only subject, right? Like there's all kinds of truth. The reason it's so important is it just rips the veil off all the other lies. It makes you step back and realize I can't just be taking things for granted. I can't just assume things are true. I need to fact check it. If something as big as that uh, turns out to be wrong, right? Something that we've all taken for granted. Um, what I was on SGT report and I was seeing some of the comments like, "Oh, the CIA psyop is so stupid, blah 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 blah," talking about flat Earth, right? And the reality of the situation is, of course, I know, for example, I know more about the globe Earth and the idea of a flat Earth than all those people combined. And to just say it's a psyop or whatever doesn't somehow change facts. And it's an intense truth to handle, right? Like you go through a moment of cognitive dissonance and denial. You want to be super sure before you ever publicly say it. There are so many closet flat earthers because they get so ridiculed and mocked and ostracized. And it's a process. It is what it is. But what you'll find out for sure is that the Earth is stationary. It doesn't move. That means it's geocentric. That means it was placed here. That requires and necessitates intelligent design. Of course, the heliocentric model does as well. But they've created you this fish story, this narrative, as if that you can somehow logically believe that everything's here without intelligent designer if you're a tiny speck of dust in the ever expanding universe of nothingness, expanding into who knows what, and that the furthest stars we see are 45 billion light years away. A number so big that you could never even grasp it. And that is not an appeal to incredulity, which is, of course, an argument saying this cannot be true because I don't understand it or don't see how it could be true. It's just simply an insane claim, and it's constantly changing. And so, if you don't know, I know I'm kind of talking fast. It happens. It goes in waves. A light year is allegedly 5.88 trillion miles. So you got 45 billion light years. That's 45 billion times 5.88 trillion miles. No one knows anything is that far away. Oh, it's expanding forever in all directions. Where's it going? We don't know. There is no center of the universe. Why do you say that? Well, we looked out at the universe and it looks like the earth is at the center. So that must mean that no matter where you are in the universe, it'll look like you're at the center. Or we're just at the center. Okay, well, if everything started in a singularity and there was a big bang and everything expanded in all directions, then wouldn't the spot that everything expands in all directions away from be the center? No. Why not? Everything's expanding away from there. There just is no center, but there is, according to your. Doesn't matter. And then you just somehow think that like atheism is logical or whatever, and then it turns into dust particles from the sun formed the earth, and then a Mars-sized body hit the earth and exchanged energy to its core, and then broke off a little piece of it that stuck around the earth, and then coalesced into a sphere over billions of years, and then that's when we got the moon, which just so happens to be the exact same size as the sun, so we can have perfect angular eclipse, perfect angular size relationship, so that we can have total eclipses and blah 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 blah. And it goes on and on and on and on, where just like SGT brought up when Richard Dawkins is asked about it, he's like ends up invoking aliens. Oh, you invoke intelligent design anyway. As long as it's not some type of benevolent creator that holds you morally accountable, then it's okay. And then you get into Edwin Hubble saying it's a horrific idea and we must avoid it at all costs, et cetera, et cetera. And this is one of the major lies that are told to our children. And the reason that you get such visceral reactions from people is because we were told that when we were children. So imagine, just think back to all the stuff that you were told when you were young. These are like the first things you learned, like the staples of how you began to understand the world and where you live. If someone begins to come and tell you that's a lie, you associate that with your entire life being a lie. You're going to have a visceral reaction. You're going to fight against it. And so children are being told that they're in this ever expanding universe of nothingness and they're on a tiny speck of dust. It's a little bitty blue marble and the universe is huge and it's insignificant. Where we live is insignificant. And it's just insane random happenstance that we're here because there's so much stuff. The odds are eventually you would have something where you can live. And in fact, things lived here before and then some rock came out of the sky, hit the earth and then killed everything here. So be scared. You're unprotected. You're in this infinite universe of nothingness. You're insignificant. Life has no meaning. You're just an animal. Do as thou wilt. There is no moral accountability. There's nothing special about you because the place you live isn't special, other than the fact that you just so happen to get to roll the dice and eventually it worked after a quadrillion times of rolling the dice. I don't think people understand the implications of that cosmology and exactly what it does to children. It warps their worldview and makes them think that apathy and nihilism is somehow an intelligent position, and they think that nihilism is somehow logical because they've been tricked into thinking atheism is viable. And of course, I would say that there's no such thing as an atheist. It doesn't exist. No one in the world would ever say that they know for a fact that there is no creator. They're agnostic at best. You can say atheist, agnostic if you want to. You simply don't know. Um, and when it comes to specific descriptions of it, it requires faith, but you can logically know there's a creator. I know that was a bit of a rant. My point is that's obviously one of the major lies. And obviously I'm so passionate about that I have like invested my life to it effectively. I've traveled around the United States. I talk about it. I go into debates about it. I know that it's one of those subjects that you're not going to reach someone the first time you talk to them. You're going to be ostracized. You're going to be mocked. You're going to be ridiculed. You're going to have less of an impact talking about other subjects because they're going to immediately disregard you and not listen to what you say. They're going to insult you, gaslight you, ad hom. You're going to be drowned in fallacies. I've been doxxed dozens of times. I've had people call my old employers. I've lost really good job offers because of the stuff I say online, etc. Of course, all that's a blessing in disguise in a way, because I ended up making a promise I'd never work for anyone else, and I'm perfectly content with that. But what I'm trying to say is the reason I'm so passionate about it is because of the philosophical and spiritual implications of understanding that the earth is in fact the center and it's important. And these crazy psychopaths, the Rockefeller Foundation that subverted all of what we were taught in all curriculum, they don't get to make your decision for you. They don't get to craft a worldview for you made up in some story that they came up with so that you can be deceived and misled. And I think that the fact that they say that it's science when in fact it's philosophy. It's a philosophical bias and worldview. I think it's disgusting. I think that that's you know not up to them, and they should tell you, look, there's a philosophical decision we make called the Copernican principle, and it's that the Earth does not occupy a special or unique position, and then we have this preference, and then we think it's logical because of the vastness of the universe. It's illogical to think that the Earth would be in a special or unique position. Blah blah blah. Okay, so I'm not going to talk much more than that. We're already 15 minutes in, and I know I do start to rant about the Earth, but um, that is a major part of all of this, and obviously, it's one of the major reasons that I do this. I don't just say that to sound virtuous or something like that. That's actually why I do it. My life would be much easier not to talk about flat Earth, right? I'm actually I can excel in sales, for example. That was a bar. Um, I could just have a really good sales job. There are many different things that I could do. I could just make content there. I don't talk about that, and I'd have way bigger following. I wouldn't be as censored, blah, blah, blah. I would be censored now because I would never have gone along with the jab, but you get it. I could never live with myself to have found it out and not talked about it, and I'm going to keep talking about it. I've accepted what happens. I've accepted that my true ability to reach more people or to be successful or whatever is significantly limited until that truth gets out there. It is what it is. Sometimes you have to do what you're supposed to do and do what's right regardless. All that being said, that's a major part of why I do this, and it's a major part of what is told to our children that misleads them. But it's much more than that. Like I said, they are immediately attacked with bioweapons at a young age. And like I said, my daughter is crushing where if she's 2 months and if you try to tell her, like say I love you, say mama, say abba, like she will say those syllables back to you. She understands that we're talking. We talk back and forth. I'm like, I'm gonna do this and that, and she'll respond back and forth. Almost gave away what I'm gonna talk about in a second, but she responds, okay? And she has crazy visual acuity, and she's been doing that since just over a month. She's been, like, responding with the same syllables. She knows you're telling her to say something, she hears the phrase, she tries to say the phrase back, okay? And this is because she was just allowed to flourish, she wasn't attacked. And then you see other children that are progressing like that, the children or the parents are making videos, all of a sudden, they go to the doctor, they come back, they completely regress. This is a major portion of it. Of course, that combined with the fact that people are not breastfeeding and they're giving them this crazy formula. They're probably going to Target to get the infant water fluoride added as if it's a good thing, and then they're giving a neurotoxin to their infant with formula, with bioweapons injected into them, and then before you know it, they have serious issues that they have to overcome. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad if they did those things. I think there's immense power in praying and fasting and praying over your children and detoxification, etc. But our children are being attacked, and more so than ever. You were attacked. I was attacked. I'm 30. You may be older than me or younger than me. You were attacked, but the attacks are getting progressively worse to such an extent now that, again, the list is 108 by the time that you're 18. And, dude, our children are being propagandized from every angle. Majority of children, like I made the thumbnail, they're just plugged in, staring at the screen. They have an iPad this close to their face constantly. They're on their phones. Like 7-year-olds have phones now. 5-year-olds have iPhones now. Um, they're just propagandized, and our children are interpreting or more so receiving information through media just like super, super fast, 20, 30 seconds at a time. So they have no attention span. They have no ability to retain information for any long duration or even like, focus and maintain attention. They're programming our children to basically be like wandering, atheistic, nihilistic goldfish. All that being said, of course, they're also getting like food that has no nutrition, just the genetically modified weapons, like completely lacking nutrition, poisonous chemicals, floor cleaners in food. The fact that we live in a world that could even be a thing, or where they're using HEK 293, which is, of course, a replicated stem cell from aborted fetal tissue. They also use these in jabs. They use these and they put these for flavorings in foods and stuff like that. That's insane. Like Pepsi does that. and what they're putting in these are, genetic material from, males and females. So then they're also just hitting our children with sexuality, hypersexuality everywhere, where it's like, "Oh, what's your sexual preference? To go play in the sandbox and be left around by you psychopathic pedophiles, because if you're sexualizing a child, you're a pedophile." So, and like I said, if I'm not allowed to have this conversation on YouTube, we've just lost the plot. You should go ahead and go to rockfin.com/WitsitGetsIt. I'm not going to censor this stream. I should be able to completely talk about this. And if YouTube censors you for defending children, then you should know what's up. You should know what's up. So I do encourage you going to rockfin.com/WitsitGetsIt. I will be launching my Rumble soon as well, because I'm just not, I'm not going to not defend children. So we have sexual confusion, this and that. You can identify as a spaceship. Oh, do you want to be a bunny rabbit today? We actually have a term for it. It's called furries. They call themselves furries now. They want to be animals or whatever. Like, oh, I'm a cat. No, you're not actually. You're actually not a cat. That's ridiculous. And so we live in a clown world, and it's like, what happens is when children grow up, certainly neglected, they need attention. So then they're given these different avenues how to get to attention. Well, just identify like this, say that, do this, act like you're this, say you're confused about this. Okay, well, now you get attention. This is my jacket. I didn't realize it was on there. Boom. Okay. So, long story short, I've been realizing that our children, and it's not that I didn't know before that, but they're just really under attack. And that's the whole thing. Okay. And I'm not a black pillar. I think that the truth is that they are not near as in control as people give them credit for. I think that it requires our us being complicit. And although there are many of us that spoke out for, like, say, the last 3 years of the pandemic, there are many people that did not. There are many people that were complicit. Okay, and they thrive off of that. They thrive off division. They thrive off propaganda of all sorts to keep you distracted and divided. And I think the truth is that this is one of the best times ever to be alive. Like, if I also do kind of have like a warrior spirit, but if someone asked me, when do you want to be alive? Other than, like, to see Yeshua, like, see the Messiah, like, I mean, I don't know, there were dragons and people used to freely explore and ancient civilizations, there's all kinds of crazy stuff, but, like, the warrior in me would pick now. This is where, like, warriors have to stand up and, like, defend the women and children, um I'm all for it. And I think that what's gonna happen is the pendulum swinging back, and probably it's being guided back and shoved the hard, too hard the wrong way. Instead of finding equilibrium, it's gonna just create more chaos, because the pendulum's gonna swing back the other way. That's what we're seeing right now. But long story short, we have to be about action, and we have huge opportunities, right? Like, organic people have opportunities now. Being awake to the true nature of the earth, you have a huge advantage. And they're gonna pull out blue beam, dude. True earthers are gonna laugh, bro. No true earthers are gonna fall for aliens. No, no one's gonna fall for that. And it's like, oh, if there is some type of, like, entity or interdimensional being, whatever, like, they're interdimensional or they're from extra lands, extraterrestrial, outer lands. No one's coming from outer space. No one's gonna fall. We know the government's gonna has the technology to do that, and that Werner von Braun secretary said they're gonna fake aliens. They're gonna fake asteroids and aliens. Like, it is like it's a very powerful truth, and we have an advantage. Just like being awake to fluoride, being awake to the food. Well, now we know we need to get land. We need to get animals. We need to grow gardens. We need to grow food. And that the next gold is actually going to be the ability to make organic babies, ammo, and seeds, you know? And that's kind of the world we live in. And we have an obligation to protect the children and to protect the future generation and to set them up to succeed. If you just throw your children out into the belly of the beast right now, there's no guarantee that they can even possibly make it out of it. Okay. It's far beyond that. It's far beyond that. Some of us made it out of it. That's not an option anymore. It's not an option. You can't just throw them out there in the belly of the beast. You got to fight for them. And if you're having, like, issues within your family, you got to fight for them. Okay. All that being said, I realized that we have to create a plan to save them, to protect them. We have to create a plan to do that. We have to do something. We have to be about action. And so when I was realizing that we want to read more and more to Aaliyah and get her to be able to read soon, because everything they tell you about how quick children develop is nonsense. When they say, "Oh, children don't start talking, crawling, walking till these ages, doesn't start reading till no, that's a lie. That's all a lie. Um, they develop much faster than they try to tell you." And so I'm like, okay, well, like what books can we read her? What books can we give her to read? And the truth is, there's really, like, nothing. There's not really much that you can give them. Uh, Yikes. So, what I decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to, create different children's books. Loving all you and Jaren are doing, keep it up, fam. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Doug, for being a member for 5 months. What a legend. Much love, brother. Um, so yeah, I'm going to make children books. Like, just entire series. Now, I know there are a few out there, right, like Conspiracy Music Guru, I think Eric Dubay made something. Um, but I'm talking about entire series. Like, you can, say children love, like, the hero villain complex, right? Well, it's like, okay, the hero is, he's like Captain Grounding, I don't know, I'm not being, like, literal about the ideas or names, but I'm just giving you a premise of what I'm doing, like, he grounds. He gets all of his power and energy from walking barefoot on the ground and being in the sun or sun gazing. And he gets his powers that way. Okay. And the villain is the person that sprays the skies. Okay. They get in these planes and they spray stuff in the skies or whatever. Where they read and, like, it captures their imagination. Imagination's important for neural development, but they're able to distinguish between fantasy and reality, and they're also going to be learning a stuff, or like a story that teaches them. The little boy asks his dad about where they live, so he takes him on a full adventure throughout the whole day, and he shows him all kinds. Look, here's the ocean, here's the horizon. Here you see the sun, it's moving. Here's the sun during sunset. Like, here's a waterfall. Here, blah blah blah, explains it all to them so they can learn vicariously through their book. Um, because there really isn't many wholesome based truth or children books that exist at all. And I think we're really missing the mark, that they would love for us to just argue with each other over and over and over, or to just dwell on the negatives, but turn around and forget to have protected our children. That's the entire point. They don't care what you say. They don't care what I say to 19,000 people on YouTube with 250 people watching. They don't care. They just don't want us to actually unify and actually implement action where we're actually protecting the future generation. That's how we win, is the future generation. That's the only way that you win. And push comes to shove, we have to like do it now. So that's one thing I'm going to be doing, is making children books, like entire series. And I'm going to probably create them PDF. You can have the ebooks online, and then I don't know, like, unfortunately, maybe use Amazon or some other place that'll print it as people buy it. So you can also get the physical copy, because obviously we want our children reading physical copies, not just staring at screens a lot. Um, so yeah, or like I think the first one I'm gonna make is a story where, like, a little boy discovers an ancient map and finds out it says there's extra land and wants to go explore the extra land. So I think that that's super important. You can teach them stuff like, they can learn, like, this plant helps cure this illness or this disease, or whenever I feel this way, I can go take dandelion out of the yard and make a soup. And they can learn in a creative way, but they can learn things that are going to be valuable to them. That, like, they don't need big pharma, they don't need all this poisonous synthetic nonsense. The earth is here to protect them. The earth is here to heal them, and they can learn it. And if a 5-year-old reads my book about being healed with herbs, they're going to be more equipped for the future than most adults right now. They're going to know more than most adults. And this is how we actually win. Um, Something else I want to do is create children cartoons, because there's, like, nothing they can watch. There's nothing they can watch. And whenever I'm I'm talking to other truther parents. They're like, "I just had to give in and let let 'em watch this," or whatever, like, "Yeah, I just let let 'em watch this," or, "I think that one's not too bad," because there's, like, nothing. There's nothing. And I don't think it's bad to let your child, once they're of a certain age, to let them watch 30 minutes of TV a day or whatever, but it's like, what are they watching? What are they watching? So I just wanna create based, truth or wholesome, like, let them know they're special, there's a creator that cares about them, like, "Oh, what's the sun? It's a light. What's the moon? It's a light. There's a light for the day and a light for the night." You know what I'm saying? Not brainwashing them with all this unnecessary nonsense that's not counterintuitive to them that they don't understand. You're upside down on a ball that's spinning that you can't feel, but a promise is that it is spinning, you just could never tell, and you're upside down, there's something called gravity that holds you to it. What's gravity? Oh, it's just what holds you to it. We can't even define it as at Harvard, but don't worry, little 5-year-old Johnny, like, believe me, there's a word called gravity, and there's a big G and a little g, and it was here forever. And it's the all powerful creative force that creates everything that you see. It holds everything together and it eludes our grasp and understanding. And there's a little g and a big G. Why don't you just say God? Why, why don't you just say God to the little 5-year-old? Um, anyway, so like just teaching them what they can know, and teaching them how to think. Like a children's book about logic, like how to think, not what to think. So, that's my plan, and then the same with, cartoons. Now, I know that, like, making cartoons is gonna be super easy, but, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to work it out with the animation, everything like that. I need, like, a team of people that can help me at some point. I can't just invest tons of time because I'm also launching NASA audits, and we're hosting the summits, and I gotta run this channel, and I'm doing debates, and I'm doing appearances, and I wanna have people on, and etcetera. But, thank you for the, $30 super chat, Anthony. Much love, brother. Thank you so much. Um, so those are 2 of my major plans right now. It's, to make children books is the first one, and then eventually children cartoons, and maybe the cartoons can kinda play off the books, that would be cool. So, we can actually get it done, but I wanna make entire series and for different topics and stuff like that, and I think that's super important. And then another major thing, and I have mentioned this, that I plan on doing is building a homeschool curriculum. So like basically, I have a child now, and she needs to be taught, right? And so if I'm going to go all out to create a curriculum for her, and to I'm going to literally create books for her. I was telling her, actually, I was telling her, like, I'm going to write you a book. And she's like talks back to you. It's really crazy. Brother from another mother, keep doing what you do. Thank you so much, Lowry, for being a member for 4 months and the kind words. Thanks for the gravy. Coming out as a flat earther has been great. All my friends are completely triggered. Yeah, that's how it goes. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Retro Reister Gaming. Yeah, man, just it is what it is. Just stand tall. Like my friends got super triggered, and then one of my longtime best friends, who was raised atheist, parents atheists, all that. I told him about flat Earth 6 years ago. He messaged me a couple weeks ago. He was like, "God is real and the Earth is flat." I'm like, "Yeah, you're correct." So just be patient, man, and people have to work through it. But yeah, the best thing you can do is just speak the truth to people. I think if everyone would just man up and be like, "Yo, the Earth's actually stationary. It's top graphical plane, dude. It's totally not that cartoon they show us. Like, looks like they're hiding land." They may get triggered, but it's gonna send out ripples like, "Well, this guy, well, Austin, he is super smart about all these other things, and he's always well informed and does his research, and he's very articulate and intelligent, and he can always stand behind his point. And anytime I try to debate him about something I disagree with, he normally smokes me because he knows more about it. But no, he's stupid when it comes to flat Earth. It'll make an impact if everyone would just speak in their life, and that right there would change a lot right there. So uh, I'm proud of you for doing it. So the homeschool curriculum is 100% going to require a team effort. And we're talking about like the legal avenue, the legal protections, all of this. You have to take their tests and stuff. I don't think so. I actually don't think you do. So, um, I'm going to work with some people to get the paperwork done for the families, and we'll have like a whole website with everything on it. Um, no, you don't. We don't have to take your test. We don't have to. We don't. You don't. You have no say in my children. It's my children. It's my daughter. Period. So here's a little affidavit of status in case you didn't realize that you don't own me or my daughter or my children, and actually we're not taking their test. But either way, even if you have to take their test just to get by, like a really based, wholesome, impactful homeschool curriculum, and it will be significantly ahead of other curriculum because, like I said, that's one of the major lies is they try to tell you that children just progress at this rate and they can't do this. No, children are way smarter than they say. In fact, I think they're more empathetic and emotionally intuitive than we are. I think that we kind of Benjamin Button when it comes to emotional intuition and subconscious understanding. So. Yeah, so there are the 3 major things I want to do to, protect children, and I think that that's the major way. I think that, the major attack on our children other than, like, direct physical, biological attacks is, brainwash, propaganda, knowledge, right? Like, they're attacking what they do or don't know, and just think about what would happen if we all teach our children like this how to think before we teach them what to think. We teach them to question everything and to figure things out and don't just believe things until it makes sense to them and like and resonates with them and they can understand it and they research it and they can test it and hold steadfast and prove all things to be true and how to think. Here's logic. It doesn't matter who says this to you. Doesn't matter what they're wearing. Doesn't matter where they're talking. If they're on the TV, doesn't matter who says what about them. If they're not using logic, then what they're saying is wrong. Okay. Um, so yeah, I think that this would just change everything. Imagine what happens when you have like organic, healthy, informed, intelligent children 20, 30 years from now. 20 years from now, you have the next generation of legends just out there crushing, growing food. They know how to work with animals. They know how to build things. Uh, they know all these different herbs. Like they can't do anything about that. And of course, and the other thing that people need to do is like they need to support fellow truthers. That's what they need to do. Like if you're gonna get coffee, go get coffee from a truther. If you're gonna buy lotion, go buy lotion from a truther. If you're gonna get a diaper rash cream, go get it from a truther. You want CBD, go get it from JJ Hemp Cream Beer. Go get it from a truther. Um, and so we create competing supply chains. We buy land, we grow gardens, we get animals, we make families, we produce children, we homeschool them, we keep them organic, we get them clean food, and we raise the next generation of legends. Where one child raised like that is going to be stronger than 5,000 NPCs. Literally, one child. Let's just say 1,000 just to make it for sure. Like, for sure, right? One truther child is going to be more impactful and more powerful. One strong-willed truther child, one is more powerful than 1,000 NPCs, okay? And that's a crazy ratio. We already are in America, in the United States, according to a 2022 survey, which is a mainstream survey. 11% of the United States is flat earthers. 11%, and that's according to a mainstream survey, bro. 11%. You know do you know how many people that is, bro? That's like 40 million people. So this is a great subject to be speaking on, and it needs to be heard for our children's sake, and I hope you, your wife, and your baby girl are doing well. God bless. Thank you so much. Russell, thank you for the $20 super chat, um, and the support. We are doing good. Thank you for your good wishes. And yeah, I think this is the most important thing. This is the most important. Um, so yeah, basically that's what I want to do. So I know I'm like putting a lot on me right now, and I know I've kind of disappeared for a little bit, and I'm sorry. I know you guys get aggravated when I do that. I'll try to. I'm gonna make a schedule and stick to it. Like I'm literally gonna map out a schedule. I'm just gonna be super busy, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it where it's all financially feasible for me to be able to do all this. 'Cause it's gonna take a lot of time, but I'll like release a schedule and I'll find a way to have a calendar publicly available. I thought I was gonna be able to do it with WitsitGetsIt Live, doesn't work. I gotta figure out the WitsitGetsIt.com domain, some issues with that. I paid for the website and the app. Someone, donated back in the day and helped me with that. So I paid for all that. I paid for the website, I paid for the app, um, service, and I've been paying this monthly fee for the app, but we haven't even got it up yet, which sucks. But anyway, so that's coming, and then we have the True Earther app. And so eventually I'll have my website and app up where it'll be a calendar. Long story short, I will have like consistent streaming schedule. But I'm trying to wrap my mind around all the stuff that I'm feeling led to do. But once I'm shown something I'm supposed to help do, I'm gonna do it. And right now it is homeschool curriculum, children's books, children's cartoons, um, and actually eventually, um, like outlines in a blueprint to self-sustainability. So basically combining all like the epic information, like the really dope information about permaculture and self-sustainability, how to build your home, to do this and that, and uh, affordable self-sustainability and via permaculture, etc. And just like have that blueprint or that guide accessible to everyone. And if you don't know about permaculture, you should definitely look into it. Super dope. And homeschool curriculum, children's books, children cartoons. And then, of course, I have NASA audits, auditnasa.com. I still have to go through all the applications, so I'm trying to do that, guys. Give me a little bit of leniency here. But I will be sending out the message to everyone that lets you guys know where the Telegram is. The newsletter should be going out hopefully tomorrow or within the next couple days. I'll make it a monthly thing. We'll pick a day. So whatever day I get it out. Tomorrow is the 7th. It's 3/7. I gotta send it tomorrow. 3 and 7 are my numbers. So looks like it'll be 3/7/23. So maybe it'll be the 7th of every month. I don't know. Yeah, I think that the first one won't be like super big because I just haven't had ability to make it like really big. But hopefully, what my plan is that the NASA audits going forward, the monthly newsletter will be super extensive. And if it gets really, really extensive at some point, I may have two versions. One is like just the free monthly newsletter, and then one would be like the super extensive. If you want to support NASA audits, pay $5 a month to get the newsletter, whatever it is. So anyway, working on that. The newsletter is free right now, of course, and it should be going out hopefully tomorrow or soon. Sorry, I put 2/28. That was my plans. Had a lot of stuff going on. Had to go to Florida to do the film. You get it. Um, okay, there's that. And so obviously NASA audits will take a lot of time. So all this being said, I know I've mentioned this out, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have reached out to me via Telegram and email to offer to help. I would say ideally it's Telegram. Like I go to Telegram first now, just because Telegram it is encrypted, and some people say, oh, the guy that owns it works on the WEF or whatever. It's like, oh, so Gmail's better, right? No, like Telegram's amazing because of information storage, how efficient it is to sift through different messages in the search tool, and how quickly you can go back and forth, and you can send every single type of media instantly. It's very useful for me when it comes to efficacy of communication. So, some people are like, "Oh, you have to have a phone number to." I'm like, "Oh, do you have a phone?" Like, "Oh, you think the government's like, oh wait, he didn't use Telegram, he didn't put his phone number in any apps. Don't surveil him." Like, I don't know. That's weird to me, but I'll go through the Telegram, I'll go through the email, and the people that offer to help, I'll try to integrate. We'll try to start having some meetings. And I've realized that I'm gonna have to create like a very specific like schedule for all of this, like an hour to this, hour to that, hour to this, hour to that. It's the only way I can possibly even get this stuff done. But I do need to create a team of people, and hopefully we can come up with creative brainstorming sessions where we can make there's like be some type of profitable avenue so that that's so annoying. Profitable avenue so people can actually like work, right, and help out. So that's kind of the plan. So cool. There's a bit of what's going on. Obviously, NASA audits is a lot in and of itself. I did just go to NASA, and let's just say astronauts are publicly accessible, and you can go talk to them. And the fact that people haven't done that already is insane. I don't know where we're gonna move, but I do know that if I live in Florida, I'll be there all the time, man. That's like all the time. And then anyway, we have some really epic plans for NASA audits and really epic plans for homeschool curriculum. I am in a communication with a couple people about those things, but I have a lot more people that have reached out to me that I got to link together. And so if you're interested in any of those things, of course, for NASA audits, you can go to auditnasa.com. There you go. Um, okay, so there's kind of like the plan, and then I can kind of just go more. I mean, the truth is that it says that we're to be like children, and when I say it, I mean the scriptures. Just get triggered, whatever. Um, and what does it mean, like, be like children? I think it's pretty simple. We're supposed to always be willing to learn. We're supposed to always be humble. We're supposed to, like, as in, we're supposed to be able to humble ourselves and be like, "Oh, I was wrong about that. Oh, I don't know that. Oh, look, I have questions. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like, just like I'm just looking for the truth." We're supposed to always be like that. We're supposed to, like, be like children, meaning we're supposed to be innocent as possible. We're supposed to be humble. We're supposed to be, like, learning. We're never supposed to think we have all the answers figured out, okay? We're supposed to be like children. And, I think that's one of the major problems that modern religions have. People think that if they can memorize a doctrine they heard when they were 8, they have it all figured out, and you don't. I promise you that you don't. Anyone that thinks they have the whole Bible figured out doesn't. Anyone that thinks they have God figured out doesn't, and his name isn't God. That's a Babylonian deity for luck, but, for fortune and luck, but you get it. Okay, no one has it all figured out, and I think we're supposed to be like children like that. Um, and also it says, "If one of you are to lead one of these little ones astray, it's better you have a millstone tied around her neck and be thrown into the depths of the sea." And I couldn't agree more, right? Like, hurting innocent children is one of the most egregious and disgusting things that anyone could ever do. And our children are being attacked, bro. And parents love their children, but the Nephilim love their children too, by the way. But I mean, yeah, like the Nephilim love their children. The giants love their children too. So, but the point is, they're being misguided, they're being misled, and they're being attacked from all angles. And dude, parent, I get it. Like, there are single mothers that are super busy. That's not the natural order at all, of course. But like, there are all kinds of situations where both parents have to work. They can't be around the house. They have to leave the house. There's all kinds of things that are going on, and so I want to create a way to help families out with that, and to help them out with curriculum, to help them out with how to get their families in a position. And I'm currently doing it, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out a way, which I'm currently in no way anywhere close at all. But I'm trying to, for the first time in my life, I'm really prioritizing trying to find a way to make some type of money because I now have a daughter and it's like super important. And I've been like apathetic towards money to a detrimental degree, my whole life. But anyway, long story short, I'm gonna start to live it. I want to be transparent and show you guys what I'm doing and the moves that I'm making to try to make that happen and share it with you guys. Share the entire experience. And I think that, creating accessible blueprints uh, to help people do that it's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. It's like people get overwhelmed, people get overwhelmed. They're like, "Dude, I gotta work my 9 to 5. I can't make a homeschool curriculum. What, do I just go trust this one? Like, oh man, well, it says this and that, and or do I just wing it, or how's it work?" And I don't know how to send in an affidavit of status and get away from legal obligations. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to, you know, do a similar thing where I don't have to listen to the state when it comes to my children, and it just becomes overwhelming. People need blueprints, yeah, and there needs to be like organizations. They can be PMAs, which is private membership associations. They don't have to be businesses, nonprofits, that are LLCs, anything like that, working for the government. None of that's required in reality. You can be a PMA. The government can do nothing about it, like objectively. And there needs to be organizations that are helping people out. And so I just had that realization that there needs to be a lot more doing and a lot less talking about it, and people just need to do more, and this is the way that the world works. Doers do things, talkers talk about. And it's just better to be about action and to do it, which reminds me of one of those, it's like, "Oh, the meek will inherit the earth." They're like, "Oh, well, it's telling you to be passive and weak." And no, no, it's not actually. You actually look at the word in Greek, okay, and understand what it's actually saying. And it's saying, do what you have to do without complaining. That's the idea of what it means when it says the meek shall inherit the earth, like long suffering, patient, without complaint. Like, just do it. Just go do what you have to do without complaining. Um, so yeah, there you go. And this is more of a rant stream, but I just wanted to throw that out into the ether so you guys know what I'm doing. Welcome to Miswit Level 1, Kevin Doble. I hope I'm saying your name right, but thank you for signing up to become a member, brother. Yay, welcome to the Miswits. I forgot to clap for everyone. So yeah, I think that we live in this crazy transitionary period, but I think it can be a positive. I think that people that fell for the trick the last few years. They're not like doomed. They're not written off. They have children. They have lives themselves. You can detoxify. And I think we just need to come together. Anyone, we're seeing a great divide. There are those that want the truth, that love the truth, that will humble themselves for the truth, that will adopt the truth no matter what it is, that will adapt what they currently think based on new information, that will swallow their pride, that will stand up in the face of societal ostracism, being mocked, ridiculed, gaslit, whatever. Will stand for the truth, especially when it comes to defending and protecting the defenseless, like children. Um, and then there are those that can't do that. There are those that will turn their head from the truth, that will remain willfully ignorant, that will be prideful and egotistical and think they have all the answers and won't stand up for the truth and want to conform and do what's comfortable and won't take the path that typically is more treacherous in society to represent the truth. And there will be a great divide between those that can see and hear the truth, those that cannot. And it is actually because of a decision that they're making. And that's the great divide. The great divide is not, oh, globers and flat earth. Oh, organic and genetically modified. Uh, the great divide is those who love truth and those who do not. And we are living in that time. And anyone that is on the side of love truth and diligently seeks it out, they're on our side. That's the only sides there are. There's those that love the creator, that want to do what's right, that want to live for the creator, as in what's right. Because the creator is the epitome of justice and righteousness. Okay. So the creator is good righteousness. And so if you want to live for that and you'll sell out and devote to that and you'll try to do what's right and we all live and learn and grow and make mistakes and have things we need to work on. But if you actually are the kind of person that just wants to know the truth, doesn't want children to be misled, then you're on our team. That's how I look at it. And I think that we need to really soak that in as like a community of people. And we need to realize that and we need to just unify in that sense. Um, People who have eyes to see, exactly, and ears to hear. That's the most important thing. And there are things that I'm almost assuredly wrong about, and that I'll have to admit I'm wrong about. Like there was a scriptural discussion I had on my stream not too long ago where I was very much wrong not too long ago about that. I had to humble myself and admit it. And if I found out that I was originally correct and now I'm wrong, I would have to humble myself and admit it again. But I don't think it's about being right. I think it's about trying to figure out what is right and being humble enough to seek it out. So there you go. Our children are being attacked in many different ways. I broke a lot of them down, but they're being hypersexualized. They're being propagandized. They're being attacked from all angles. They're being attacked biologically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Just attack, 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 attack. And it is up to us to defend them. Children are in an absorbent mode. That's why it says that if you're attacking those children, you should be thrown off the ship, basically, like, away with them, because it's disgusting and despicable that you would attack children and mislead them. They are gullible, basically. They are naive. They are innocent. They absorb information as truth. Like we were talking to, I saw a group of people and they had some kids with them at NASA, and I'm like, "Do you guys know the moon landing was actually fake?" And like one of the kids turns around like so serious, like fake, and that's what's so sad is he heard me say the moon landing was fake and he's like, fake, like he went through all day at NASA just absorbing everything they said as true no matter what. Because kids just absorb what adults tell them as true because they trust them, they believe them, they're innocent. Okay. Admitting errors gives credibility. I agree. Please preach truth, liberty, and freedom. Hey, truth matters, bro. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's gonna be really cool. Nice illustrated books, different age groups, different series, so different main characters for each series, different subjects. So if you guys have creative ideas, you don't have to like if you okay, I will say if you guys want to write an entire book, don't like obviously don't hijack some of the ideas I said. I'm writing books about that. If you want to come to me with like a new idea you have for a truth or plot or whatever, even if you want to write it, just integrate it into the series, and like you could write the story or give me like just like a baseline of the story. If you actually like wrote some of the children's book, if I'm gonna put it under my series, I would obviously like edit it and make sure I like it, but we'll just make it to where like the proceeds go to you, or we split, we cut the profits up however. I'm super cool with that. I'm cool with working with whoever. If you guys just have ideas, just a general idea of what you think would be cool for a children's book, hit me up. I'm trying. I mean, it just I say hit me up about so many different things. I get so many messages. It's just like really overwhelming. It's like, yo, and I need to get to where like Kai cannot work and she can just be my secretary. It's intense. Instead of eating anything in a box bag or can, which is straight up poison, look into the carnivore diet. Equals get healthy and take control of your body. Thank you, Set Neg, for being a member for 4 months. Um, Yeah. Personally, I think that, like, any extreme diet's maybe not the situation. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm currently, like, eating predominantly fruit because I wanna try it out. I think that, like, instead of having to reach down where the animals are crawling all 4 and eat and, like, you just reached up and grabbed fruit in the garden, so I just been eating fruit, and I forgot, like, how amazing fruit is. Like, just eating a kiwi and pineapple and strawberries and, mangoes, it's, like, really fire. It's like your food is dessert. But, yeah. How about a children's book on the protocols of Zion? Daniel's diet's awesome. Please try it. I have tried it. Teach your children, teach your child to take criticism well and learn from mistakes, stack skills, and start businesses early. Teach entrepreneurship. Yeah, yeah. There's lots of things I want to do. For one, like I think that what's missing in school, especially now, is like hands-on stuff. Um, where, like, I plan on taking Aaliyah and, like, my other children, like, taking them on field trips, like, to cool places all the time. "Oh, we're just gonna go learn about this today." Like, where learning is fun, like, quote, unquote, "school" is just, like, her she enjoys it. Like, she's just gonna have fun. Like, my children are just gonna have fun. Like, "Oh, man, dad took us here and here and here and here, and, this is, like, we're gonna come learn how something works today. You can see it." Another thing is just, like, hands-on. I think that, in my homeschool curriculum, it's going to gardening is going to be part of it. And I think it's good because it would force truther parents to if they've been kind of ignoring it, like, to just, like, do some form of gardening because that's a very important skill. And I'm not very informed on gardening, like, I'm not gonna lie, I need to learn way more about gardening, and, um, I just know that, like, if our children grow up knowing these things, then they're gonna be very blessed, and they're gonna have way more power and control over protecting themselves. I think another thing that we need to make normal is like family sticking together and like, oh well, look, actually, you can build land on my acreage when you get married. That's what I think. But so I think gardening would be part of it. Carpentry would be part of it. Like little like soft introductions to carpentry for all the children, and then like for the boys as they get older, like learn how to build things. Um, yeah, and like learning about herbs for sure. Uh, you get it. I think it would be cool. I think I'm teaching my 4-year-old to build a house. Nice. I just wanted to stress the fact that everything in the supermarkets is designed and irradiated to make you and your kids dumb down and docile. No nutrients. It's important. This is very true. There's no doubt about that. Thank you for the $10 super chat. And I agree 100%. Gardening is essential for homeschooling. It shows how we are all part of a system that moves in cycles, etc. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. And have a family compound. That's what I'm saying. So cool. Yeah, I think that protect the children is not like it's not like this like take this right wing, oh Ben Shapiro, it's all over, oh man, it's all over, it's all over. But then you just want to fight and kill tons of people all the time, like Ben Shapiro, you know? That's not the move. It's not to just whine about it, but sometimes it's hard to tell the difference when someone's just speaking justice and righteous judgment and it can come off like complaining, and I mean, I think you have to call it out. I think speaking the truth has to be done, and even if that means calling out the negative. At the same time, though, we need to formulate action. We need to just do things, and so I think we should be able to all like, there are many people that are gonna end up seeing my channel because I got some plans that are not true earthers, and it's okay. I don't think that people like, I've said this for a long time now, but, like, just because someone hasn't gotten to where they've realized that the Earth is not a spinning ball, and we get it, it's a process. Most people will refuse to look into it seriously for like 18 months to 2 years or something at least. It's just a thing, which is wild, but it's a thing. It's a spell. It's a spell. It doesn't mean that they're not on our team or that they can't kick it or that we can't work together. We should all work together for NASA as a government agency that's clearly lying, hiding information from us, not being forthcoming. Regardless of what you think about the Earth, you should be able to be on the same team as me with that. Government accountability and transparency should be unspoken. We pay for everything that they have, especially when they're making claims that no one else can verify. And when it comes to homeschooling our children, we should be on the same page. When it says to protecting them against bioweapons given to them at a young age, we should be on the same page. When it comes to trying to maintain and ensure like healthy, nutrient filled food for our children, we should be on the same page. And gardening should be on the same page. And self sustainability, we should be on the same page. Um, Wholesome, uh, knowledge-based cartoons and children's books, we should be on the same page. And these are the kind of things we come together in unison and we start doing. I know I'm being somewhat reiterative at this point, but we just have to be more about action so you guys get it. They're attacking our children because they know that's the next future threat, potential threat that they have, and this is why they're attacking fertility in many different ways. A lot of it self-inflicted and consciously, right? Like some of it not so much, but iPads being on young girls' laps apparently could be bad. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff, but we obviously can't get into too many specifics because of YouTube, which is why from now on I'll probably shoot over to Rockfirm for like the final end of like the end of the stream. But um fertility is obviously part of it, and then they want to make sure that those whatever children are made that they don't keep reproducing. They're just making sure that society no longer incentivizes making children in general. They don't really want you making children unless they want to prevent it, make it where you can't, or make it where you choose not to. And then, of course, you have the problem with once the children are here, just like Rockefeller's told that dude who was once interviewed, right? He explains the whole feminist, like women's right movement. But the Rockefellers pushed that because they wanted, for one, they could only tax half the population. For two, they wanted the women out of the house so that the child had to go to the school. So they got their hands on the child earlier, so they were able to program them at a young age, as opposed to the mom teaching them. Now it's the school teaching them. Which is crazy. And so now basically the state has replaced parents, and now they just give them over to the point where people are like annoyed by being with their children. They just want to give them to the state, and the state has specifically crafted curriculum to dumb them down and to make them slaves. And you don't need anything more than that than just look at schools. Let's see if there's a video about this. I don't know for sure that this will actually be what I wanna show you guys, but pretty simple idea here. Oh, how dare you.
My dad said schools are basically prisons. They keep kids locked up physically and mentally, prepare them for jobs that are also basically prisons until they retire and go to a nursing home. Their final prison.
School is not a prison.
Can I leave whenever I want to?
It's a little like a prison. Amazing.
Okay. I didn't know
My
what
dad
that
said
was,
schools
but
are basically prisons. They keep
I was hoping it'd just be a little something that shows the similarities, but you know how it goes.
Culture is being developed.
Alright, let's see if this is any good. Let's watch this video, see if it's any good. How dare you.
School is an 18-year forced government training program that sterilizes the potential for brilliance in children. Those who actually survive schooling and survive conformity and continue on to think for themselves truly are a rare breed. All children start out as curious, highly experimental minds, and then one day they're sent to school. Mandatory schooling has never consisted of anything but the memorization of monotonous dead facts and training children to master repetitious behavior. For the greater part of their day, everything the child says must match the interest of their school teachers. Their
Thank you,
behavior
Jordan
must
Fowler, for the super
coincide with
chat.
a set policy and a set regulation. They cannot.
Thank you for the generous $20 super chat, Jordan Fowler. Much love, brother.
not use the bathrooms without permission. If they wish to speak, they must raise their hands. And after every hour or so, a bell rings and everyone must move to it. It couldn't be any more slave like. And this type of training becomes a ritual for the child. It becomes the plot background for their television shows and books, or the ideology taught to them by a teacher or a parent. An entire monoculture is being developed here, stripping children of their power to cause trouble for the state at an early age, training them to be good servants of the politically correct. Their environment is much like a prison, by the population lacking any ability to check the authority of the warden. The process becomes a matter of rubber stamping. They have no control over their entire lives, which is directly related to youth violence, because the only control they have is between each other. Mandatory schooling produces children who are either terrified of the tyranny of others or have been raised to perpetually exploit the conditions of others. It's just like the prison system. Forced cohabitation. The child's presence in certain buildings and their engagement in state-regulated behavior is under penalty of imprisonment. An entire army of truancy officers have been hired to make sure that no child is on the other side of the bars. At the end of 18 years of coercive state authority, the child is released into the world.
Yo, how crazy is that to think about? Like, they literally have hired people. There are people that the state pays to come to your house. What's going on, dude? Yo, that's crazy. I don't know why it changed. Sorry. The state has hired people to come and like threaten to take your children, to force you to make sure that the children are in the prison. They're in the prison. I mean, just that right there is insane to think about. I get that. I get that sometimes families are in situations where they can't homeschool. I want to help create ways that we can make it feasible for you guys. I want to start big truther businesses where, I know, Tennessee, pretty sure South Carolina, I'm pretty sure Florida, wherever I end up, that it's a right to hire state. I hire true earthers. I hire truthers. Okay. And we create businesses where we can try to get the moms to be able to stay in the house. And like, even I have to accomplish that. Even I have to accomplish because I felt led to end up doing this for a living, and that's where I'm at now. But I want to find a way to make it where Kai doesn't have to work, even though she can work from home right now, so that she can just be a full stay-at-home mom. And I want to create a way where we can help other families do that. Single mothers, we want to try to figure out a way where I don't know, maybe there's some way that you can find a job to work at the house, and then we can create a online curriculum as well. Like, I want to create a way to make it feasible, but in general, um, people need to normalize homeschooling. That's how we do it. That's how we win the game. That's how we take over. Matthew 19:5-8. Yeshua says Moses, Matthew 19:5-8. Yeshua says Moses put his own law in Torah. Deuteronomy 12:32 says, don't add or take away from it. All right, I don't necessarily want to get into all that, but yes, what Yeshua actually said was that not one jot or tittle shall pass. He said, do not even think that I've come to do away with the law, but rather to fulfill it, meaning to live it perfectly, to fulfill it, to actually do it properly and correctly. For not one jot or tittle shall pass till both heaven and earth pass away. But this is not about that right now, but thank you for the $10 super chat. And Yeshua came to correct misinterpretation of the directions/instructions, also known as the Torah. Let's go.
It's like the end of an 18-year prison sentence. Now that you're trained to do as you're told, now you can be free. And the produce of these schools, or the state-controlled manufacturing operation, is a society willing to submit, to obey, and to listen. Forced behavior, which technically amounts to a type of slavery, will only inculcate a mindset of fear and terror. You need to be somewhere at a set time, either at the orders of an authority or a bell. Everyone in one mass shifts to another position or another place to engage in a new activity.
Dude, it really is such a trip when you start to think about it. I saw someone say, like, I'm a single mom, and I'm down. Let me know. Like, if you guys are interested in the homeschool project or whatever, then just message me on Telegram at real Witsit. At real Witsit. All right, let's continue because I'm pretty sure this guy is crushing so far. So he's going to cover all the basics of how it literally is just programming you like a prison. It actually is.
trained to not need to be somewhere at a set time, either at the orders of an authority or a bell. Everyone in one mass shifts to another position or another place to engage in a new activity. They're trained to not only follow instruction, but they're also trained to follow a certain behavior. Rules, regulations, and laws are set for the children. They say you cannot do this to others. You can do this to others. This is acceptable. This is not acceptable. Standards of culture, morality, and behavior are imprinted into these new young minds that are in the blossoming stages of development. Their minds are being intercepted by the state and molded to conform to state standards. The first lesson they teach you is the orders of authority. The second lesson is to work with each other to achieve the desired ends of those in control. If a group of children are taught to engage in the same behavior regardless of what they want to do, then they will never fight back as adults. And this is your group of tenants who will live in roaches and never call the health inspector. This is your group of citizens who is easily terrified by police officers into voluntarily giving up their rights. This is your group of workers who surrender their lives to the corporation who tells them how to dress, how to speak, what time to wake up, which means they essentially tell you what time to go to sleep if they tell you what time to wake up. This is nothing new. These are the fruits of mandatory schooling. If we look into the roots of 19th century industrialism, the Civil War demonstrated to industrialists and financiers how a standardized population trained to follow orders without significant thought could be made to function as a money tree. It's no surprise that global power and corporate wealth is based on a third-rate educational system that works against developing individuals of true character and true intellect. Because the mindless bureaucrat or the thoughtless worker who will follow a system without question is the pattern that our system depends on. And this is what school produces. The system is not designed to educate the public, which is why federal and state bureaucracies call the shots, not the parents, not the local school boards. Every law is harshly enforced with maximum punishments. The tone of a principal is much like the tone of a warden, with no check on his authority. They will always have a way of using coercive ability to enforce a standard on the population. Strict punishment awaits any kid who disobeys this ruling force, and there is no doubt that an active student body reflects positively on school administrators. It's like factory floor men. They're fulfilling their quotas to the inspecting superintendent of the local school district. This is the reality of government training. The state doesn't care if children are homeless or on the streets or suffering from malnutrition and hunger, but the second the child fails to appear in school at the scheduled time, like a court date, the police are alerted. Until we abolish mandatory schooling, your child will be brought up as a slave so that he can accept becoming a slave later in life in adulthood.
Oh, that dude was absolutely crushing. I dropped the link in Telegram. I dropped the link in the chat. I saw someone say Austin should start a homeschool for children YouTube channel. I'm down to do that. I'm down to do create some videos. It's like the amount of stuff I'm just a lot. It's a lot. It's really crazy too. There are people like, oh, Austin takes donations. He's a shill. It's like, how do you think that even a fraction of what I'm trying to do is possible without that? Anyway, yeah, I'll do that. And then it'll have like links to the full curriculum somewhere. I think it's awesome to have like interactive videos and like completely detached from the words flat earth so that they can break the algorithms. And I think the plan, I should be able to say this, like is to build channels with normie videos, get lots of subscribers, wipe the channel clean, and then do something like drop the homeschool curriculum on that and other truth or information with different channels. That's kind of my current plan. There's really nothing that any of these psychopaths that try to derail everything I do can do to stop that. You're not going to know what the channels are. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So that video was fire. Just think about it. I saw a meme, and I'll find the meme and I'll show the meme. But there's so much about the schooling system that's just like prison. There's so much, and a lot of us instinctively were like didn't like school. And if you don't pay attention, it's probably your subconscious intuition knowing you're being programmed. You like lose track of don't want to pay attention, or they also like they dumb things down and they make you learn at this dumbed down level. Especially now, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And just like even testing will show you that they changed the way that you learn math to where it's like ridiculous and stupid. It's like when I was in school, I got transferred to a college preparatory high school, and then when I was at the last private high school I was in, I would be in algebra 1 and algebra 2 honors, right? And I would do, like, long form algebra super fast in my head, so I wouldn't show my work. Like, I would show a couple steps, like, I would write, like, say there should be 15 lines, I'd write, like, 3 lines, or 10 lines, I'd write 3 lines or whatever. And I would get subtracted off of my total score, and so I would do the math really fast in my head, and I'd just write, like, 1 or 2 lines down, and then I'd turn my test in, I'd make 100, I'd get every answer right, but I would still not make 100. And they're like, "There's no way you did it this fast in your head that you're cheating." And then they'd give me another test. I have to take the test again right in front of them, do the same thing. She's like, "Well, you still have to show your work." It's like, "What?" No, you should be like, "Wow, Austin has an aptitude for math. He's good at algebra in his head. We should, like, let him do that and maybe even give him some harder questions or encourage him to use his gift." Instead, they made me hate math. They made me hate math class, so therefore I hated math. When I first started doing algebra, I was like, "This is cool. It's like a challenge. I can try to keep up with all the stuff in my head." And it was, like, fun to me. It was fun to me to get the answer, to solve the puzzle. They ruined it. They made me hate math, right? And that's the problem. Much love, brother. Thank you for the $50 super chat. It's very generous. Michael Line. Thank you, brother. Much love back at you. That's just an example of how backwards clown world is, right? Where they made me hate it, and you should tailor to children who have certain gifts or aptitudes. It's like the next Nikola Tesla is being brainwashed about electrons right now, and electrons, little physical particles that travel around with their point particles. They don't have a size or shape, but I promise they're matter and all this nonsense. That is not real. And he needs to be taught, actually, look, they don't fully understand electrons or photons or protons or all these other subatomic particles. And in reality, everything has a vortex, double torus, geometric expression, centrifugal divergence, centrifugal convergence. Everything has the same exact geometry from the small to the big. And there seems to be, of course, an ether field that's thrown into infinitesimal prodigious worlds of velocity, because that kid is super smart and can keep up with that. And then all of a sudden, he's just going to smoke what I understand about it in a few years because he has an aptitude. He's been set up to succeed, right? And then he crushes, but he might not be very good at art. He might not be very good at something else. It's like that's how it should work. And that would be really emphasized in any homeschool curriculum I have anything to do with. It's teach them how to think, not what to think, and set them up to succeed based on their aptitudes. And that's how it should have been unspoken. That's how schooling works. Duh. You know, Mm, People excel in different things. You don't dumb down the curriculum for everyone because there's someone in the class that isn't good at math. That doesn't make sense. That's ridiculous. Okay, let me go to Telegram and drop this picture, and I'll show it to you guys. Oh, how dare you. But anyway, so, like, when it comes to school, obviously, a lot of us kind of, like, would check out, or we would, like, not pay attention. I, for one, would just always be like, "Wait, how do you know that?" What's so funny is I'm a true earther now, but, like, even when I was in earth science, I was like, "Wait, how do you guys know what this looks like if we've never been there?" Like, about space. Like, why are these all cartoons? How do you know that what this looks like? Just because I was just like that, though. I would just, like, ask questions. I'd be like, "Wait, how do we know that?" You know? And I was like, "How do we know this is what it looks like if we've never been there?" And my teacher couldn't answer me. I'm like, "It says you are here, but can we actually get outside of the Milky Way galaxy? No." And how do we know what it looks like from the outside? How do we know? Why is this all cartoons? How do we know what it is? I asked the same thing about the core of the Earth, like the layers. I'm like, "Oh, like, how do we know?" And it wasn't because I was, like, seeing through the globe deception and I was a flat earther or anything like that. It was just it doesn't make sense. Intuitively, we start to see through lies because our spirit, our subconscious knows, dude. It knows. And then they say, "Oh, this kid isn't being brainwashed very easy. They have ADHD. Put them on drugs and try to suck the life out of them." It's just disgusting, man. All right, let me come over here. I'll show you a couple pictures. There's Aaliyah. She's super cute. And then here's the meme. So obviously a big part of why I am currently so passionate about this is I recently had a baby and she's 2 months old. And let me find it. Here is Aaliyah. Oh, what a little baby. That's an outfit someone in our family got her. So we put it on, took a picture. So they would be like, "Oh, you wore the outfit." course, she like doesn't fit in it, but there is the precious little baby girl Aaliyah. And then here is that meme. So Department of Corrections versus the Department of Education. You got the same exact school bus, just different colors. Got the same exact lunch tables and lunchroom setup. Got the same exact lunch trays with like the same exact food. Oh, just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. She's healthy and beautiful. Thank you. Wow, she looks like Kai. So cute. Thanks. She says that she looks like me and doesn't look like her, but I don't know. I'm like, she looks like a Leah. um, she's like the happiest baby ever, though. It's like hilarious. Me and Kai were talking about it. She's like always happy, bro. She's just so happy. She's just like, it's a trip. Well, yeah, I'll say she looks like Kai. She's too cute to look like me. We'll say that. So, um, it's interesting because, of course, we know that you have the private prison complex, right? Like the private industrial prison complex. That's like just insane. They make tons of money, and criminals shouldn't be allowed to run around and do whatever they want to. But they're programming you. See, it's not necessarily programming you to go to prison. I've been to prison, and it's like school. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Love her cheeks. No jabs. Yeah, of course. 2 months, she's giving back with smiles. She's been smiling like that for a while now. It's crazy. She smiles so much. It's insane. She's like the happiest baby ever. Um, yeah, it's more so to program you that once you leave school and you live in the world, you live like a prisoner. That's it. See, the best slave thinks they're free. All right. So no, like when I went around the country and I'm like, hey, do you guys know that you guys ever seen Hunger Games? Well, guess what? They drew a circle around you called the 60th South latitude, and you're not allowed to freely explore outside of that. It's like the Hunger Games. And the best slave thinks they're free. The best prisoner doesn't know they're in a prison. The best person thinks that they're roaming the earth freely, but in reality, they're actually in a circle drawn around them. It's the best way to have a prisoner or a slave. They don't know they're a slave. They don't know they're a prisoner. They program you to be a prisoner. So when you leave school, you live in the world like a prison. And if you don't think that they look at our world, the known lands, as many older books call like the continents we were told about, the known lands, and there are unknown lands. But anyway, that's for another stream. If you don't believe that they look at the known lands as where we live as a prison, just look at 3 years ago when the whole world shut down the same day, and they came out and they said, we're going into lockdown. That's a prison term. Okay. When you're in prison, you hang out in your cell, then you're allowed out in the pod, in community, general population, you're allowed out in the pod to hang out with everyone. I guess technically in prison, you can go to the yard at certain times, blah, blah, blah. You hang out in the pod, then you go in for curfew back into your cell for lockdown. Okay. They didn't even, they gave you prison terms. They run the world like it's a prison. They program you as a child to accept that you're a prisoner, but not even intellectualize that you're a prisoner. March 17, 2020 lockdown. Yeah, exactly. Like the book Iron Republic. Yep. Oh, yeah. So my point is, obviously, the best way to fight, what that shows is that it isn't as easy as just like, oh, they have all the power, we have no chance, blah, 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 blah. No, it's that they have to get you to agree. They have to brainwash you. They propagandize you. They have to, propagandize you into submission. You have to agree. You have to fall for the trick, or they wouldn't invest billions of dollars and hundreds of years into setting up a system that's now been subverted with the Rockefeller Foundation, which I just now found out that apparently Ghislaine Maxwell's father owns like the primary textbook used in United States curriculum. Did you guys know that? What a coincidence. Total. Did you guys hear Ghislaine Maxwell's apparently about to get out of prison because of like a technicality, or because they made a deal that she shouldn't be allowed to get in trouble whenever Epstein was getting in trouble back in the day? Yeah, supposedly she may get out. I don't know. I don't even, who knows? The point is, I guess her dad like owns like Macmillan or whatever. Haven't fact checked that. I don't actually know, but anyway, the point is that they have to if it was just as easy as they own everything and control everything and you have no chance, then they wouldn't spend tons of time making sure you don't understand law, that they use a different language. Law is a different language. See, all kinds of languages changes, but Latin doesn't. Law doesn't. They use Latin phrases forever. They say it's a dead language. What they really mean is it's unchanging, and they're going to use it forever. It's alive and well, trust me. And then no, they speak a different language, and no one understands the legal language, so they keep you ignorant, right? Basically, you're illiterate when it comes to your freedoms and rights. And then the words that we use have different legal definitions, just like human. Go look it up. It says sea monster. You go to monster, it says he who cannot possess property, etc. Blah blah blah. You guys get it. But if they just could own us by force, they wouldn't have to spend so much energy invested in making sure you're ignorant, making sure you're misguided, making sure you don't understand what the truth is. And you know, law is a good example. You send an affidavit of status, affidavit of fact, like what's the charging instrument brought against me, blah, blah, blah. You're good. You start a private membership association, etc. Ignorance is what equates to slavery. And this goes for everything. And so that's what the schools do. And so you can understand why the way to actually prevail, to be successful, to end up winning this battle, which we're in a spiritual war, is knowledge. It is to set up our future generations, our children, with knowledge of freedom, knowledge of truth, knowledge of what really is, so that they're not being propagandized into submission. They're not being programmed to be a prisoner. Okay. They know they're powerful and special and unique and have a spirit and have a soul and have a consciousness, and that they're very powerful individual beings that have individual purpose, and that they don't have to listen to what they're told to do. They're not like little pieces of property that are owned by the Rockefellers. Okay. That's how you beat them. This is literally how you beat them. It's not screaming. It's not me going around on tour on a microphone. It's not anything like that. The way that we beat them is that we raise the next generation of legends that are healthy and happy and righteous and live for the creator and make babies and know how to grow food and have animals and know how to think, not what to think. That's how you beat them. It is how you beat them. That is what they're terrified of. That's why they're the easiest way to remove the possibility of people waking up and then this entire new wave of homeschool based children coming out for the next generation. What's the easiest way to prevent that? Remove the ability of the slaves to have children, and then make sure that everyone thinks having slaves or having children is stupid and lame, and make them not want to have children. Push this idea like, oh, how irresponsible are you to have a baby in this world? No, how irresponsible of you to not have babies in this world, buddy. If you knew the game, then you would know that's the actual accurate position. And use all this different, contraceptives and birth control that damages your fertility, and get women to be a boss, and before they know it, they can't have children, and attack the men, make them weak. Therefore, the women don't have strong men to be submissive to or to follow. So now the women have tried to usurp authority, and now they don't respect men, and now you've messed up the whole dynamic. Now you don't get founded based like wholesome families. Now you don't have wholesome children being raised up that know that the system doesn't control them, doesn't own them. This is the way that you win. It is the way that you win. There is no debate. It's just subjective. You can scream about it. You can write petitions. You can go do protests. You can go get on the internet every day. You can talk on Discord. You can talk on YouTube. You can complain about it. You can write letters to your politicians. You can go knock on their doors. You can go to all kinds of different meetings, and sure, you should go do some of this stuff, right? But the way that you actually win is that you have children that are equipped with truth and power. That's how we win. So there you go. And they're attacking our children stronger than ever. They're sexualizing them. They're confusing them. They're propagandizing them. Children are just like this their whole life now. It's just like all day, every day, their whole life. Their whole life. They don't know how to read. They're not reading good books. And so let's just not complain about it. Let's just make it happen. So there you go. That's the stream. That's what I wanted to talk about. Where you invest you invest your life. Where you invest your love, you invest your life. Nice. Roger Kelly, thank you for the $5 super chat. All right, so thank you guys for kicking it. Let me check Rockfin. We got a $5 tip. Oh, we're balling out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the $5 tip on Rockfin Adam. Much love, brother. All right, thank you guys for kicking it. Now you guys know the plan. If you want to contact me on Telegram, it's at realwitsit. You can, of course, WitsitGetsIt@gmail.com. Just know that I still got tons of those to go through. I'm going to trying to get the NASA audits newsletter out tomorrow. It won't be super long and extensive. I just don't have time to do it, but it's already pretty decent. It's going to have like embedded links all throughout the PDF. So everywhere you see something, you can click on it. It's going to take you somewhere. So I've already made the newsletter with embedded PDFs all throughout. It also has a Telegram on that. I'll be responding to a bunch of the resumes and applications sent in over the next days. You guys will get the message that gives you the instructions on where to go to be a part of the private groups and the private interactions so that we can work on the audits for NASA. So there's that. Again, go to auditnasa.com if you don't know about it. I actually do need to, I want to show you guys the trailer, obviously. So we have the summit coming up as well. Whoa, what's going on? Okay. All right, so we have the summit coming up on March 17th and 18th. It's going to be super fire. I've already heard about what some of the presentations are about. It's going to be super cool. You, of course, go to temms.live to get tickets, $50, and you get all kinds of stuff. We're creating a gift bag, all kinds of truther businesses, where you get all kinds of like exclusive discounts to all kinds of products and services. So yeah, we're trying to make it it's well worth it to get the ticket. It's actually way greater value to get the ticket. You're gonna have all kinds of stuff. You want to buy coffee from Truthers? We have people in there selling like super fire, like the best coffee you can ever get, and you're supporting a Truther, so you get a discount. You get a discount on the CBD cream. You get a discount on activated charcoal or anything through Amanda Vollmer and David Avocado Wolf's websites, which have tons of stuff in and of itself. That's worth it right there. The discounts to those stores. And yeah, so that's what you get. You get the virtual gift bag. You also can get access to the True Earther website. There are different packages that you get. So you can go to temms.live, and then you can go to the ticket. You can see different packages on trueearther.com, which is the website that we're setting up. It's going to have all kinds of some epic dope stuff on there, and you can get different types of memberships. So pretty cool. We have a bunch of epic speakers, but I'm just going to roll the video, and then I'll close out the stream with my other plans I got going on. So without further ado,
in a world where everything seems so chaotic, so out of balance and out of harmony, where do you turn for stability? The answer is the True Earth Equinox Virtual Summit, a virtual gathering of the world's foremost experts on balance, harmony, and resonance. This is your chance to join a community of like-minded individuals seeking equilibrium in their lives, just as the equinox brings balance to day and night. Get ready to be inspired and empowered by a lineup of exceptional speakers, including Brian from High Impact Flicks, Dave Murphy, David Avocado Wolf, and Max Freeman, the man behind Epic Cash. From Crow 777 Radio, we have Crow with Jason Lindgren and Rose 777. From the Globebusters, we have Zachary Zabala and Iru Lenducci. Also presenting will be Bro Sanchez from Bro Sanchez TV and Amanda Vollmer from Yummy.Doctor, as well as Clara Loretta from Spirit Vehicle. From the Gnostic Academy, we have Marty Leeds, and from the Serapeum.com, Dustin Nemos. We also welcome podcast co-hosts, Caleb and Derek, both from TikTok. We look forward to a special presentation from Austin Thompson and the Melodome. With him is Mike from THCshow.live, as well as Flatman X, Chris Vick. Don't miss the live Q&A panel featuring David Weiss from DITRH, Sean Hibbler from Hibbler Productions, David Avocado Wolf, Amanda Vollmer, and your summit hosts, Jaron Campanella from Jaronism, and Austin Witsit from WitsitGetsIt, where they will be fielding questions from the VIP audience. But that's not all. The True Earth Equinox Summit also features musical interludes from Christopher Crumb and stand-up comedy from Sam Tripoli from the Tinfoil Hat podcast. This is an event that will not only educate and inform, but also entertain and inspire. So don't wait. Join us for the True Earth Equinox Virtual Summit. Friday and Saturday, March 17th and 18th, 2023. Tickets are on sale now at Thames.live. We can't wait to see you at the first ever True Earth Equinox Summit.
Very cool. It's gonna be very epic. And like it says there on the bottom, if you purchase your ticket today, as in it's after midnight, so 3/7 or 3/8, if you buy your ticket by the end of the day on the 8th, then you'll be thrown into a drawing that I'll be on Jaren's show. We're gonna draw a few names out and of the VIP and the general admission. And if you win, then you're gonna get paid enough to cover your ticket and to win a little bit of cash. So like, but to be in the drawing, you have to be an early purchaser by the end of the 8th, and then you can get drawn out. And we're giving out cash prizes to a few people, so that'll be cool. Thank you, brother Revelo. I guess Revelo Diob. Sorry, Diob. Revelo. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Is there a H in Witsit? I didn't think so, but I saw one. Maybe Austin's been Mandela'd. Yeah, my last name has an H, Whitssitt, but I spell it Witsit online because it's pronounced the same and it's shorter. And I originally did that just to avoid kickback on my family about what I was talking about. Yeah, also, I know I just made that new logo, but I am making a new logo, so it's way cooler, and it's the color I want, which is purple, so that'll be coming out soon too, by the way, and I promise I'll stop changing it then, but it's fire. It's super cool. So I've been kinda messing with that as well. Go to temms.live. Here, I'll even show it for a second, actually. temms.live. So here's the website. The summit's in 9 days. You got your purchase your tickets. We explain what the summit is, everything. You can just click on buy tickets, and it isn't going to show it. So when you click buy tickets, it takes you here, trueearther.com, and you have the different packages. And then when you go to get a ticket, when you purchase the ticket, you go to buy the ticket, it asks you, you can scroll down to pick from a list of all the names. So just like last time we had apply a coupon last time, this time you just when you're checking out, you click the drop down menu right by while you're checking out and makes you pick one. And you can click on any one of the people that you want your proceeds to go to. Whoever you want to give the money to, you pick that person, you pick that content producer, and then the money from your ticket goes to them. And of course, just like last time, you have all the speakers here with descriptions and links to their content where it's underlined in italic. So here are all the speakers. You have, again, you got Crumb and Sam Tripoli, which is going to be hilarious. Yeah, me and Jaren hosting it. Here's the schedule. And then we have a frequently asked questions section so you guys can understand it. And anyone that wants to be a partner can contact us privately to be on this list. Of course, you click on this, it takes you to both the links takes you to Audit NASA, or it takes you to the clock app. You can put your, as you see, we have room for more people. You'll also be shown throughout the summit if you have a truth or business and you want to do that. So cool. Yeah. I think it's awesome. I think it's gonna be cool. It was super fire last time. You have a bunch of people just ladling gravy, speaking lots of truth. Uh, yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that we focus on like kind of what this entire stream's been about, like what to do from here, what action to take, how to be positive, how to be impactful, like how to, basically attain like balance and equilibrium in your life, and how to elevate and where to go from here and start crushing and not be black pilled, just come together in truth. And there's this resonance and this vibration about truth that, whenever you connect with like-minded people and you actually pursue the future, then it's pretty much unstoppable. So that's the idea. And there's a whole bunch of spectrum of beliefs and different ideas and different opinions. And we intentionally do that so that everyone can come in there and you can learn from different people. And you should always be able to challenge what you currently think and hear what other people think. And you guys get it. So anyway, that is March 17th and 18th. That is the equinox. And of course, the beginning of the year will be right after that. So this is like a super cool way to actually go and, prepare yourself to start the actual new year, right? The real new year, which is around the 20th. Start the real new year as life begins to grow, like with new information, understanding where to go, etc. So you guys get it. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Bubbles in space. 1, 2, 3 bubbles in space. That's hilarious. There's one. I've never seen you on here, so you're not even a mod. Hibbler is a mod. Shout out to Hibbler Productions in the chat. 1, 2, 3 bubbles in space is hilarious. That was super funny. Cool. And Brush Tail Coffee will be a partner. Nice, bro. Message me on Telegram, bro. At Real Witsit. And then we'll throw your logo there and connect to your website. So yeah, and that reminds me, since Hibbler's back in here, just like I told you guys at the beginning of the stream, you guys can go support Hibbler through his GoFundMe. Hibbler, you're a mod. If you want to drop your link in here now for your GoFundMe to help fund for the rest of the film. And of course, when the film comes out, go actually pay to see it when it comes out to support it, because I was there and experienced it firsthand. It costs a lot of money to make the film, to fly everyone out, and to pay for everyone's room and board and stuff to get the movie done. So cool. Yo, see y'all at the Truer Summit. Yeah. That JB and Owen food is everywhere, huh? Yeah, I guess. Whatever. So yeah, anyway, cool. I think it's pretty cool. You guys, again, just to say it again, like if you get the ticket in the next couple days, and you get put into a drawing, so it should be cool. And then you'll have obviously exclusive post-event access at truether.com. And so we paid for this like website service and this app where like you get like a super dope, like professional quality video player, like just as good, if just as good as YouTube. I don't want to say it's better, but it's like just as good. It's super professional, and you'll be able to watch all of it. It'll be broken up into different videos. You'll have obviously permanent access to that. Like I'm not joking. Like it's fire. Like the video player is super fire. So it's very cool. Y'all bless Witsit. My homie Nick put me on your channel 2 months before he passed on 2/14. We found FE in 13. What's your future policy for verses? Wow. Sorry to hear that, but that's cool that you made it here. What's your feature policy for verses? Oh, I'm so glad you said that. It reminded me to play a song. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. If you're asking me like what's my policy for like me being featured on a verse, like that I actually believe in the message of the song and can have time to do it. Pretty much. Pretty much. Let's see here. Actually, I need to do BOB's open verse challenge. I'm gonna do BOB's open verse challenge for sure. It's like I'm the one. It's like he's like I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm like I'm the one not talking Neo. I heard it, and while I was driving, saw the challenge, and like immediately lyrics popped in my head. Like I'm the one not talking Neo. The Earth is geocentric. If you offended my vision with it, whatever. I'm like, all right, I gotta drop something for the BOB challenge. All right, let me come over here and find my dude's song. This dude's song is fire, and I told him I would play in the next stream. He's on my Telegram. Let me find him. There he is. And then you guys should go support his YouTube. Oh, how dare you! This song is fire, bro. This Truther song is super fire. Okay, here we go. I gotta find it. Don't make it weird. I think this is it. I don't actually know. I'm pretty sure this is it.
Hold them on the world as appearances.
This song is so fire, bro. This is my boy. Go sub to him on YouTube. I'll drop the link in the chat and let's check out the song.
Hold them on the world as appearances inherited from yesterday, of a world that's disappearing and gone, has been emptied out by those who have been clever enough to fool the masses.
The Raven Mad Foe, the Edgar Allan flow, never mechanical, no two flows identical. Ready for catapult, defending my inner fort. It's the fortitude of a different sort of animal. Savage, uncaged, learn to manage rage. Still against the machine, craft is unfazed. Never had a sponsorship, just this one bag. Lacking nothing since I tapped in, my funds raised. John William Bubbles and I'm back on my job. Rap Waldo Emerson, I'm transcending the odds. By day I'm in a steel mill, but still see mills at night making diamonds flash dance on the bars. Never drawing a blank, a lot of coal in my tank, fueled by rapper fossils, and I can only give thanks. Picasso, gold in the bank, hear the scores I paint. We all got a shot clock, the shot's yours to make. Yo, did Tesla put himself in his own cage just to die with a pigeon at old age? Never went corporate, couldn't get his own raise, but got hit with the voltage in a stone age. Mama, why you give me this flow? Every good gift comes from the Father I know. Even though I never master this penmanship, anarchist, 2 tablets in the blood, no acid trip. High on life, not even finished half the trip. God willing and God's speed, may I catch his drift. Up against the beast, crowd is in his grip. The more I'm invested, the harder to calculate the risk. I tried not taking shots, but these Draculas insist. Stick my neck out, taking shots is drastic if you miss. Boy, so don't miss. All power given to the son of the dawn. They say that you reek of death, but it's the second of dawn. God's son on my belly, even as ether groans. To see kings fall like the cedars of Lebanon. So much for the prophets of Bashan. I help synagogue of Big Farm. The ordinary little prophets of Shaitan. Kiss the sun, for you perish that's on God. Lucifer's plans, man's chains. The future's like mask on mass graves. Worldwide psychological campaigns. Industry control, government mandates. Killing bodily autonomy and independence. Our God-given rights, who are you to infringe on freedom of religion and informed consent? Is it too much to ask? Well, it's not yours to give. Did Tesla put himself in his own cage just to die with a pigeon at old age? Never went corporate, couldn't get his own raise, but got hit with the voltage in a stone age. Mama, why you give me this flow? Every good gift comes from the Father I know.
And we know who those are who were clever enough to fool the masses. And the masses want to be fooled.
I'm dropping his YouTube again. Dude, you gotta admit that song is fire, bro. That dude killed that. All right, cool. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for kicking it. You guys get the stream. Basically, I've recently decided that I'm going to help put together a homeschool curriculum, looking for people to help me with that because that's obviously a big task, certainly for like ages 5 all the way through. and I'm going to create, and actually Hibbler, you helped me like solidify it. I want to do this. I took that as like a sign because I had just had the idea, and then I started having conversations with you, and I'm like, oh wow, this is definitely what I'm supposed to do, which is why I told you I was going to do it. Um, create uh, children cartoons and children books, starting with children books. Um, so I'll be making children books soon, and that will be very cool. And that's how we win. Like I said, the whole point of the stream is that they're attacking our children. We have to protect the children. Obviously, we know there's a super dark side to this where they are literally attacking children and kidnapping them and doing egregious things and trafficking. And we definitely got to come together on a unified front to raise awareness to that and to stop that from happening. I think that one of the greatest deterrents of that would be good parents. Not that that would ever fully prevent it, and sure, there's more work to be done. The number one being raise awareness to that, where there's a unified front where we can speak out against this, and that fully goes with what I was saying earlier, which is, there are people that haven't fully realized that the Earth is not a spinning, ball, but like they can still be on our team when it comes to stuff like human trafficking and child trafficking and stuff like, biological weapons disguised as medicine, shoved into defenseless babies that can't speak for themselves from the time that they are out of the womb. And all these different things are important, and we should come together on all of those. So there you go. That's kind of my point, is that they're clearly attacking the children. And this is why I was explaining that school is basically prison, because the best slave thinks he's free. The best prisoner doesn't realize he's in a prison. They drew a circle around you called the 60th South latitude. You think you can't freely explore. Well, you can freely explore, but you don't think there is anything to explore when clearly there is. There's land we don't know about, and like anyone that's even kind of awake in 2023 has put that together by now. And the best slave thinks he's free. And so that's why they invest so much money, so much time, so much effort, so much propaganda into convincing you to give your children over to the state, to not homeschool your children, to not be in charge of how they're taught, to not at the least teach them the right way when they're at home, to counter the propaganda and the indoctrination that happens at school if you're not able to homeschool them. I strongly encourage homeschooling. I'm trying to create an entire blueprint so that it can become feasible for parents and families who think it isn't currently feasible. I feel very passionate about that because that's how you win. My whole entire point being that, logically speaking, it doesn't take a lot to realize that obviously it isn't just about them having all kinds of power being against us and us having no ability to have any say or any way to fight back. But they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't care what you learn, what you think, what you do. They control you. What are you going to do about it? They need you to be ignorant, because knowledge is power, and it's much more powerful when you're the only one that has it, which is obviously another reason that they lied about the earth and land. And so this is my point, is the way you actually win is you grow the next generation of children. You raise them to be based, to know how to think, not what to think, to see through the lies, to be to persevere in pursuit of truth, to always be humble and willing to adopt new truths as they see them, to never think they have it all figured out, to remain as like children, just like the scripture says. That means you're always supposed to be willing to learn new things and to be humble. When you start to create people like this who know how to build things, who know how to do like carpentry, they know how to garden, they know that herbs healed them, they know that we were given all kinds of medicine in the form of food on the earth, and that the earth provides you all kinds of herbs that are incredible for your body. Whenever they find out that grounding is an important thing, and they find out that clean water is an important thing, they find out that sun gazing is an important thing, they find out that being in the sun is an important thing, and touching trees is an important thing, and breathing air is an important thing, and being physically active outside is an important thing, and putting their feet in water, natural waters of it. When they start to find these things out and they grow in that understanding, and then they're tailored, like what they learn is tailored to their aptitudes and their gifts, and they're set up to succeed. What you end up with is a generation of freaking like legends that are just crushing. Like I said, my daughter, since like just over a month, has been repeating exact syllables back to us as we ask her to say them. And that's because she was set up to succeed and she's not being attacked. And every single person I talk to has organic children. They're like, whoa, everyone's like so amazed at what my child is doing, and so amazed at how far ahead of my child is than theirs. And they've upped the weaponry against the children, right? To the point where now it's 108 jabs by the time they're 18. And they're going to keep doing that. And they're upping the attacks in every single way, attacking them with media and propaganda from all angles, sexualizing them, confusing them, etc. Where there's really no one protecting them overall. And then you give them over to be defenseless into this beast system just to gobble them up at a young age. When you fight back and you take the children back. You defend them, and that's the reason we're here. You got to be a child. You got to grow up. You're here. You're alive. You have now an obligation to protect children, which is why abortion is the most egregious thing I've ever even heard someone dare pretend to defend. That was a bar. But anyway, this is how we win. We have the next legend of the next generation of legends. They know the truth. They weren't, brainwashed into submission. They didn't have the creativity just ripped out of their soul. And then you have that, again, one truther that's strong-willed, right, is stronger than 1,000 NPCs. And when you have a whole generation of those with competing supply chain and homeschool curriculum and like all kinds of awesome content to share with their friends and to share with their children, etc., that's how you win. And if that wasn't such a threat to them, then they wouldn't care about getting you to go to public schools. They wouldn't care about changing and the curriculum. They wouldn't care about like making sure that you neglect your children. They wouldn't attack them from the second they come into the womb, rip them away from the mom, cut the umbilical cord, in the oxygen supply, rip them away from the chest, spank them, wipe them off, start, mutilating them, doing all kinds of, like, just immediately attacking the children, propagandizing them. They wouldn't do that if it wasn't necessary. If there was no feasible way that we could ever take power back, they wouldn't have to do that. They wouldn't encourage you to not have babies. They wouldn't attack your fertility. They wouldn't encourage sterility. They wouldn't constantly promote abortion. They wouldn't do all these things, right? If they didn't have to control you. They do. They do have to. So that's the way that you win, is like basically they send you to a public school and it programs you to be a prisoner. It's just like a prison. But if you don't do that, you're not a prisoner, then they don't have control. Pretty simple. So that was somewhat redundant. Hope you guys get it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the stream. If you want to help with any of those things, you can message me on Telegram at RealWitsit. And of course, I have WitsitGetsIt@gmail.com. Links to support the stream in the description. Thanks for kicking it. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So who cares what other people think? Stand up in the face of societal ostracism and speak the truth unequivocally, regardless of what other people say. In fact, whenever they attack you for his name's sake or for the truth's sake, rejoice. For they did that to all the prophets before you. And of course, strong people don't care what weak people think, and what's true is not popular. What's popular is not always true. That's just how it goes. So kind of expect to get some kickback. That means you're doing something good. Till next time, peace.
That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. The theory's disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it of news anchors, informants who informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we porting ships, important gifts. Of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?